everybody, and welcome to today's episode of DownStream Outdoors. Today on DownStream Outdoors, we're trout fishing again. It's late season trout fishing for us here in Central Pennsylvania. It's getting on to the end of July. A lot of people's minds have actually turned away from trout fishing. They're looking at other things right now, like bass and such that the warm water species. I am a trout fisherman through and through. Okay? I absolutely love fishing for trout. I do it year-round, no matter what the weather is. Now, the trick is, this time of year, we have to search out where the trout are going to be at that are going to be feeding, okay? What do I mean? Well, as the weather gets warmer, so does the water, okay? And trout can only handle water up to about 70 degrees. About 70 degrees is about kill-off point, okay? So the closer it gets to that, the more the trout migrate out of those warm water areas, okay? Yellow Creek is a bit of a warm water area because it passes through a lot of farm fields, okay? Coming down through Woodbury and Waterside and right out of the cove, it's just farm field, farm field, farm field, farm field, farm field. And with no trees, it causes the water to warm, which causes the trout to either die off or move away. So what are we doing here at Yellow Creek this time of year? Well, what I'm doing is I'm actually up in the upper branches of the Yellow Creek, and we're going to veer off of Yellow Creek up here, and we're going to go on to what's called Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek is a headwater for Yellow Creek, okay? Beaver Creek is a cold water stream. This stream, it passes through some farmers' fields getting into Yellow Creek, but it's coming right off the mountain, okay? And it doesn't pass through as many fields to get to this point, so it's still cold, okay? The trout are going to be in there. I feel the trout are going to be in there anyway. I'll be seriously surprised if we don't catch at least one today. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. Here's an interesting little thing for you, okay? If you don't have a clock with you and you need to estimate your time, how much time you have left before it's dark, hold your hand up, okay? Spread your fingers out like this. Line your top finger up right with the sun, and then count down. Every finger is 15 minutes, okay? If you can do it more than once, you got a couple hours, okay? Right now, if I line up and look, I got about an hour. Now, my hand's a little bit considerably larger than most, so I might have a little bit more than an hour, but it gives me a rough estimate of about an hour till the sun sets down over the horizon. Yeah, there we go. Don't know what we got, but we got something. There we go, nice little trout. Yeah, that's what we call a quick release right there. Well, folks, that about does it for this week's episode of DownStream Outdoors. Once again, we were down here at Yellow Creek, up towards the headwaters of Yellow Creek, by a town called Loysburg in the Loysburg Gap. I only caught one tonight. Had a couple of bites, a couple of chasers. I saw enough, though, that it makes me want to come back. I saw a really nice palomino, which intrigues me because I've never personally caught a palomino. They're more of a stocked fish. I've always fished more for wild trout, but I'd love to still get that picture of me holding a palomino one of these days. So I might have to come back and try for that guy a little bit more. Uh, I had fun though. I learned a couple things. I learned, I learned more about this water, which I had never fished this stretch at all before. I do know this stretch that I'm fishing right here receives a lot of fishing pressure. I drive down through here quite often, down along Road 36 here, and you'll see guys, old men, sitting down here on buckets with their bait rods. Okay, during the day, and they're just here constantly fishing for these trout. So I know this stretch of water gets a lot of pressure, but I also deemed it that if it's getting that much pressure, there must be a reason. And seeing what I saw tonight, I'm sure there is a reason. Another thing I learned is right here at Louisburg, there's actually a thing called the Mid-State Trail. Not sure what that's about. It sounds kind of interesting. I'm gonna go home tonight, do my research on that. So every day I learn something new. We should all strive to do the same. And until next time, keep your line wet and out of the trees.